Okay guys, welcome back. This is Module 3, Teaching Reading. All right, so before we really get into this, let's take a look at this quick introduction here. So it says, to begin with, for the purpose of this module, reading means reading and understanding. Not just reading and making sounds, right? So it says here, a foreign language learner who says, I can read the words, but I don't know what they mean, is not actually reading in this sense, right? If they can just read it, but they don't get the meaning, that's not actually reading from our perspective anyhow. He or she is simply decoding, which means they are translating written symbols or letters into sounds. This is not reading. Now, I actually have an example for you guys. This was written on the board before I came in here today. I don't actually really know this, but I can read this for you guys. So let me read this to you guys. It says, Gomi no nioi ga suru. Gomi no nioi ga suru. Okay, so I can read it, right? I read it and I made the sound. But actually, I don't even know what this means, right? So I want to find out the meaning. And I got it here on my phone. Oh, so it means I smell like garbage. Well, that's not very nice. Okay. Now, on the opposite board, you guys can't see this, but something was written in Korean. So I'm just going to kind of copy that down. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. Okay. All right, so I can read this as well. I learned how to read Korean a long time ago. All right, so let's check this out. 나는 바보입니다. 나는 바보입니다. Great. So I can read this, but actually I don't really know what it means. So I did translate this on my phone, but I didn't take a look at the meaning earlier. So let me take a look here. Oh, okay. So that means I am stupid in Korean. Jeez, right? I don't know why people are writing stuff like, I smell like garbage and I am stupid on the boards in this room. Anyhow, but I just wanted to provide those examples to you guys because that really illustrates my point that reading and simply making the sounds is not actually what we are going to consider reading, because we are going to consider reading to be reading, making the sounds, but also understanding what we're actually reading, right? So anyhow, in this module, we will focus on how to actually teach reading and look at reading activities, of course, right? And yeah, let me get this off the board because I don't want it to be a reminder that I am both stupid and that I smell like garbage. Maybe I do. I don't know. I think I smell okay right now. Not too bad, but not like garbage. Anyhow, so anyhow, guys, we will look at the following questions in this module. How do we read? How do we help beginners, which is really, really tough? What types of reading activities are there? How can we improve reading skills? And how about advanced reading? Okay, guys, so these questions and more will be dealt with in this module. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll see you in Unit 1. Okay guys, so Unit 1, how do we read? How do we actually read? Let's take a look. So since this unit will attempt to clarify or make clearer and look at some of the aspects of reading, let's take a look at some assumptions about the nature of reading in box 3.1. Okay, so yeah, box 3.1, again, some assumptions about the nature of reading. Okay, so number 1, we need to perceive and decode letters in order to read words, right? Now, that can be hard to understand. We need to perceive, we need to look at these words, and we need to decode them, like break it up into some kind of meaning, right? Number 2, we need to understand all the words in order to understand the meaning of a text, right? Like if we can't understand a couple of words in a sentence or a couple of words in a paragraph, we're not going to completely understand that, right? Number 3, the more symbols, and symbols could be, letters or words there are in a text, the longer it will take to read, right? That just seems to make sense. Like the more symbols there are, the more words, the more sentences, etc., it will probably take us longer to read. Number 4, we gather meaning from what we read, right? We read something and then we kind of think about it and then we hopefully understand the meaning. And lastly, number 5, our understanding of a text comes from understanding the words of which it is composed, right? So that just makes a lot of sense as well. So all 5 of these assumptions about the nature of reading, they're things that you already understand, right? Like these are a lot of assumptions that we assume to be 100% correct and which seem to be very obvious, right? Like number 3, if there's more symbols, it will take longer to read. Well, duh, right? Or like after we read something and understand all the words, then we can understand the context of this text, right? That just seems to make a lot of sense. But does it really make a lot of sense? That's what we really need to talk about in more detail. So we're going to take a short break, and after the break, we have a task. So I'll see you again in a second.